My son is now 29 years of age, and he was diagnosed with PDD autism at a young age. It was probably in his 5th year in high school that I was introduced to DSO. Looking at the whole application process, as a parent, very overwhelming, because that's something I've done all my life since my son was first diagnosed. Paperwork, and then all of a sudden another application. But the navigators and the staff were very, very, very helpful.
The role of a DSO assessor is to figure out what support needs that a family and applicant want or need. You're going to one place and you have one person to kind of help you navigate all the different pieces. I just try to give them as many resources as I can, and just encouraging them to keep in contact with the DSO, because even years down the road, we can still help them. Even if, say, the assessor's role is done, there's other positions in the DSO that can still help them find other resources that they need.
The Ontario Application Package can help service agencies support people with their goal planning and service needs.
The application package is made up of 2 3-hour meetings. We gear those meetings towards the applicant and their families, kind of what makes them feel comfortable. And that's why we offer them virtual, in person, in their home, in our offices. That way, if they want to wear their pajamas, they can wear their pajamas. The whole kind of package is a way so that families don't have to, explain their story over and over again. Agencies can take these packages and read them out and kind of fill out the intake for themselves, instead of meeting with all these different people answering the same questions over and over.
The first part of the application package is the application for Developmental Services and Supports, or ADSS. There are 7 sections. 1. Intake process, to collect basic information about the person, such as their age, address, phone number, and current situation. 2. About the person and their expressive and receptive communication, vision, hearing, mobility supports, and living situation. 3. Getting to know you, the person's gifts and talents, things they like and don't like, their goals and dreams. 4. Services and supports and service type. 5. Additional medical and behavioral support needs. 6. Care concerns. 7. Unpaid primary caregiver concerns, such as health status of a caregiver and ability to provide care.
Yeah, Section 3 is getting to know you. So this is the part of the application I like the best, because you actually get to hear from the applicant and you ask them their likes and dislikes, and who doesn't like to talk about themselves. Then there's section where we talk about dreams and goals. So then they will describe to us kind of what they want for the future. And then some of the dreams we can turn into goals as well. And then the important to and important for section, that's where applicants describe all the things that they love and that are really important to them that they can't live without. And then the important for section, the applicant can speak on that, but that more so for the families to say what they want for their future or for their well-being, or things that they must have to kind of function as an everyday adult.
The second part of the application package is the Support Intensity Scale Adult Version 2nd Edition, that is also referred to as the SIS-A 2nd Edition. The SIS-A 2nd Edition is a standardized assessment tool to measure the pattern and intensity of support that a person 16 years of age and older with a developmental disability requires to be successful in a community setting. This part of the application package is completed in a second meeting with the person and their respondents. A respondent, by definition, is someone who has known the person well for at least the last 3 months and has had the opportunity to observe the individual in one or more environments for substantial periods of time. A respondent also has to be able to understand and answer all the questions. The SIS-A Second Edition is comprised of 2 sections. Section 1 is the Exceptional Medical and Behavioral Support Needs. Section 2 is about the support needs for life activities, which consists of 57 activities that are grouped into 7 support subscales: home living, community living, health and safety, lifelong learning, work, social, and advocacy.
SIS-A can be used to determine what supports and services are correct for this person. When caregivers, they have other kids to care for, they might have a job, all that stuff. So we score it as if there was one designated person to be there for this support, what does that support look like? So it's just trying to give them autonomy and setting them up for the right situations.
The SIS-A Second Edition measures 3 things: type of support, which reflects what kind of dominant support is needed for success. For example, no support, monitoring, verbal or gestural prompting, partial physical or full physical assistance. Frequency, if given the opportunity, how frequently is support required for success in each of the activities. And daily support time, measures the amount of active support time that is typically needed to ensure the person's successful engagement in the activity. For more information on the SIS-A Second Edition, visit the American Association on Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities website at aaidd.org.
All of the sections are important. The most important and what a lot of agencies look at first are the medical and behavioral, because that tends to be where the more support is needed. But the whole assessment is important because it shows whether somebody living on their own needs more support than somebody else. So it puts somebody in a situation that is not hindering. So somebody who's super independent, you wouldn't want them living somewhere where the staff are going to be doing everything for them. But then you also don't want somebody who needs a lot of support to be living in a situation with no support. A lot of the time, it's just as easy for parents to just go ahead and cook meals for someone. Whereas the SIS is going to show, okay, this individual, given the opportunity, if somebody were to walk them through every step, or maybe this family needs to do some of the chopping, but the applicant can put stuff in the oven or can do certain parts. It's just a way to give them more of an opportunity to do these things on their own as opposed to somebody doing it for them. And some applicants, if they're, say, nonverbal and they can't voice to you, oh, I know how to do these things. Looking at the SIS, then you know, okay, this person can do things if we give them step by step, or maybe we show them first, then they're able to do it.
The Assessor Summary Support, or ASR, is a narrative report completed after the 2 meetings.
ASR, that's where we can describe. Also, if there's any outliers. So if somebody is super independent in all areas except for maybe house cleaning because they have a bad back, or chemicals don't mix well with seizures, that is where we would explain they can do all these things. However, there's certain situations they can't because of XYZ. To read them all together is best because you get a picture of who this person is. So the ADSS will have explanations in there of like what's important to them that we didn't necessarily score in the SIS. Because in the SIS, we're scoring that support that happens. So there might be some outlier things that are important, like seasonal allergies, that you really wouldn't score that because it's not dominant, but it's still important to note. So if you're just reading one piece, you're only getting kind of one piece of the puzzle. Whereas if you read all three, you get an explanation. You might get things that we didn't ask in the SIS, in the ADSS. Anytime there's any significant change of health-wise or behavior, to always update the DSO right away.
Both my parents have lived with me for a long time, and they, between the two of them, they have helped support my son as well, living with me. And unfortunately, last year in February, I lost my mom to cancer. So it was really hard on me as a parent, as well as my son, to have that loss in our lives. And so I contacted DSO, and they knew the crisis, that they realized the crisis I was in. DSO stepped in, as well as CARES Disability Services, knowing that my son was going to go into a group home. It took that burden off my shoulders, and knowing that he's in a stable environment now, I get communication from the support workers. Everyone's been wonderful. I've been able to return to my job now. Yeah, DSO was wonderful. My son Brett, it'll be a year this May. Brett has been with CARES Disability Services, and he's enjoying it. He comes home every weekend, and it's been a wonderful journey for him.
For more information, visit dsontario.ca.